A very pleasant good afternoon to everybody, wherever you may be. Welcome to Brent Brown Ballpark on the campus of Utah Valley University for the, I don't want to say continuation, but the start of the 2015 Class 2A State Baseball Championship game. After getting ready to go on Saturday, then the rain decided to come here at Brent Brown Ballpark and ended up raining out on Saturday, but now back today on a day where it is bright sunshine and the weather has turned for the better for Enterprise and Manti. The Enterprise Wolves coming into this one on the season. Enterprise coming in 23-4 into the state championship. Enterprise finishing in a tie with Delta, the top of Region 13. Enterprise going 13-1 in their region play, getting here to the state championship with wins over in the first round. Enterprise started in Emory, where they took down South Summit 9-2 before beating Emory 12-7. Enterprise would then go on to beat Gunnison 13-5 on last Thursday here at Brent Brown Ballpark before dropping a 1-0 game to Manti. That was on Friday afternoon, and then beating North Sevier on Saturday morning before the rain came. On the other side, Manti coming in to this one 21-4. The Templars are the home team in this one, and this is their path in which they took here to the state championship. Manti started at North Sevier in the North Sevier region for games. They beat Kanab 9-4 before beating North Sevier 11-3. Then when they got here to Brent Brown Ballpark, they defeated Delta 3-2, Enterprise 1-0, and that is how they have gotten here. So for Enterprise to win the state championship, they need 2 wins today over Manti. Manti can take care of it here this afternoon in 7 with a 7-inning victory. And today they will turn to the right-hander Kyle Robinson. Robinson threw against Delta on Thursday here at Brent Brown Ballpark, where he went 7 innings, allowed 6 hits, 2 runs, which was earned, no walks, and 10 strikeouts for the right-hander, who will begin taking his warm-up tosses. Let's give you the starting lineup first for the visiting Enterprise Wolves. Leading off will be third baseman Bradley Clegg. Clint Simpkins gets the start at shortstop. He'll bat second. Kason Bundy, the catcher, will bat third. Brandel Shumway will start in right field, hitting fourth. Connor Phelps in center field hits fifth. Kelton Hunt, the left fielder, hits sixth. Quay Jones at second base, hitting seventh. Cole Stratton will hit eighth at first base, and pitching for Enterprise will be number 6, Trayson Christensen, who will round out the lineup for Enterprise. Defensively here for Manti in the outfield, we're going to have Wes Wright in left, Darren McClain in center, Brad Segot in right field. On the infield, Casey Barnes will be at third, Derek Wright at short. Over at second will be Jake Kirkham. Kirkham will not bat in the Manti lineup. Playing first base will be Jack Gillett, and behind the plate will be James Nelson, and pitching will be Kyle Robinson. So we're just about set, ready to go for baseball. It is a bright, sunny day here at Brent Brown Ballpark in Orem. The field is in great shape as Enterprise will get ready with Bradley Clegg getting ready to step into the batter's box. Enterprise will wear the blue tops and the white pants. Manti, red tops and white pants. And we are just about set, ready to go for baseball on a Monday afternoon to decide the 2015 Class 2A state champion. So settle in, everybody. Great to be with you, everybody. I'm Ryan Pickens as the first pitch to Bradley Clegg is swung on and fouled back to the screen. It's no balls and a strike. So Enterprise will go with Clegg, Simpkins, Bundy, Shumway, Phelps, Hunt, Jones, Stratton, and Christensen, 1 through 9. The 0-1 pitch coming home, and that one just off the plate. They're going to want to appeal down to first, but they won't. It'll be ball 2, 2 balls and no strikes on Bradley Clegg. The 2-0 pitch, the wind, the delivery comes home, and that one settles in at the knees for a called strike. And it's quickly 2 balls and a strike. They count here on Bradley Clegg. Ready to go again. Robinson comes home. That one misses away, ball 3. And it's 3 balls and a strike on Bradley Clegg, the leadoff man for Enterprise. The 3-1 pitch on its way home. That one misses away. In fact, I guess it was actually 2-2, so I guess now the count does go full, 3-2 on Bradley Clegg. The 3-2 pitch on its way home. That one misses low and away, ball 4. Bradley Clegg's on for the Enterprise Wolves, have the first base runner of the ball game. with a base on balls, the first walk of the game for Kyle Robinson, and now that brings up Clint Simpkins. Simpkins, the left-handed hitting shortstop for Enterprise, will stand in. Infield up the middle for Manti, going to double play depth. Robinson delivers the first pitch, that one in off the glove of James Nelson, and alertedly taking second base is Bradley Clegg. So Clegg immediately takes off when that pitch gets off the glove of Nelson, and doing the smart thing there, because Nelson, to try to throw down, would have had to throw behind or around Clint Simpkins. So a good idea there by Clegg to get into scoring position early. 1-0 pitch on its way home is swung on and popped up. Giving it a look, James Nelson doesn't know where it is. Robinson's going to make a run for it, slides up against the concrete padding there, and the ball's going to go foul. Got to give him an A for effort there, as laying the body out as he makes a good sliding attempt. And it'll be even the count up at 1 ball and 1 strike on Clint Simpkins. James Nelson there kind of looked up, and he's just kind of putting the glove up going, I don't know where it's at. The sun is kind of directly behind the ballpark coming in, and so it's just one of those things. It's just setting right behind the plate, and so James Nelson, looking up almost directly into that sun, had no clue where the baseball was. 1-1 pitch on its way home. That one swung on, grounded over to first. Fielded cleanly by Gillett. He'll take it to first base, and the first out is recorded of the ball game for Kyle Robinson. That does move the runner, Bradley Clegg, down to third base. So an early opportunity if you're Enterprise to try to see if you can't bring home the run from third base. And now Kason Bundy stands in. The first pitch, Bundy takes that one on the outside corner, and it's no balls and a strike. Infield will play back as Manti will give up the early run here in exchange for the out. The 0-1 pitch coming home, breaking ball. It was swung on line down the left field line for a base hit. In to score is Clegg, and it's 1-0 Enterprise. Just a hard hit ball that caught a good portion of the plate, and Kason Bundy slapped it into left field, and it's 1-0 Enterprise as Brandel Shumway will come to the plate, number 9. Getting his lead over at first is Kason Bundy. And time quickly calls. Shumway will take a step out of the box. So just what you want if you're Enterprise. You want an early run to try to get something going. Pitch coming home, breaking ball. That one stands high above the letters, and it's 1 ball and no strikes to count on Brandel Shumway. Shumway takes a quick stand out of the batter's box, now jumps back in. The 1-0 pitch, that one misses off the plate ball too, and it's quickly 2 balls and no strikes here on Shumway. Kason Bundy running over at first base. Not a big hole as Kirkham playing kind of more towards that hole there in right field. Shumway gets that one in on the hands and fouls it back to the screen. And they're going to say that hit him on the wrist, and they're going to give him first base. I've never seen that before on a swing. Typically, if you swing at it, it's a strike, but they're going to say that it hit him on the wrist, and so a couple of men on here for Enterprise with 1 away. That's a first for me. Never seen that one before. Now Connor Phelps is going to come to the plate. Couple of men on for Enterprise. Gillett will play in front of the runner at first, and the first pitch to Phelps is right on the outside corner, and it's no balls and a strike. Manti has all their starters really available today when it comes to pitching. No balls and a strike. The kick and the delivery, bunt laid down by Phelps, but it's going to go foul. It'll be 0-2 on Connor Phelps. They have Derek Wright and James Nelson as well, 2 of their big pitchers who will have an opportunity, if needed today, to throw. Now, whether or not we go to a game 2 or not, that will be something we'll kind of see as this game goes on. Runners on at first and second. No balls and 2 strikes. The kick and the delivery comes in. Phelps fights it off and almost puts it fair down the line, but missed it by maybe 10 inches or so down the line. It'd be no balls and 2 strikes. That was another one that Robinson came inside and just trying to fight it off there was Phelps, and he did that, but it almost kept it fair down the line with Casey Barnes hugging that third baseline. Robinson set, runners go, the 0-2 pitch. Nelson's throw down to third, not going to be in time. Kason Bundy got a huge jump and was about halfway to third base before that ball even came home. So credit Bundy there with the stolen base. And now runners on the corner, so still a double play opportunity for Manti, but they're going to have to get a quick ground ball. The 1-2 pitch on its way. That one swung on and fouled back as Shumway went. Shumway gets all the way to second base, and he'll work back. This is the state championship game, so we do have a 3-umpire base crew. One behind home plate, one at first base, and the other at third. But when there's runners on base, he will kind of move in towards right now where he's playing between the pitcher and the shortstop. Manti will get some direction from their head coach, get some alignment here, ready to go. Double play depth up the middle, big hole on that right and left side with the runner being held on. The 1-2 pitch just off the plate with the breaking ball, and the count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. If we should go to a game 2, I would think Enterprise would be going with Chandler Bowler. That one swung on, popped up. High on the infield. Gillett going to come in. He's going to call it. No, in fact, the pitcher, Robinson, calls it, but Gillett came away with it. Some miscommunication that luckily for Manti there works out in their favor. They get the out, which is the main thing, but that play could have been disastrous with 2 outs as Kelton Hunt comes to the plate. So in any sort of baseball game, the key is you want to try to get that run home from third, especially when you have less than 2 outs. In a championship game, though, it's just as important, if not more important, to get those early runs. And the pitch coming home, that one right on the outside corner for a called strike, and it's 0-1 to Kelton Hunt. Hunt has hit the ball hard for the most part here in the last couple of games for Enterprise. Coming up with some clutch RBI. Shumway goes, the pitch inside, the throw is high right, leaps but can't get to it. Coming in to score from third is Kason Bundy, and it's 2-0 Enterprise. Brandel Shumway probably gets the stolen base, but the errant throw there from James Nelson that gets into center field really kind of opens this one up. 2-0 Enterprise. Kelton Hunt at the plate, runner in scoring positions, Brandel Shumway. 1-1 pitch coming in, that one inside and off the glove of Nelson to the backstop, and Shumway's going to take third. Shumway rounds, thought about heading home, but now he'll hold. And so right now, Manti defensively having some struggles. And they're going to say the ball came in and hit, and they're going to say it hit Hunt. And so now a conversation here between the 3 umpires is gonna happen to see, because if it did hit him, then I believe they're gonna ask the runner at third, Brandel Shumway, to move back to second base. It didn't look like to me from my vantage point. It looks like it just went right off the glove. But we'll see here what the umpire crew of John Voss, Bill Hales, and Craig Gaines come up with here. And they're gonna say that it hit him, so they're gonna send Brandel Shumway back to second base. So 2 outs, and Quay Jones is going to come to the plate. The second hits batsman of the inning for Manti. The third guy that's gotten on via some kind of free pass. The other one, Bradley Clegg, walked and then came around to score. So 2 outs for Quay Jones. Jones will stand in from the left side against Robinson. Robinson comes in. That one misses low for a ball, and it's 1 ball and no strikes to count. A little bit of some early jitters probably. You're getting the start in the state championship game. Not exactly an easy opportunity. You've had a couple of days extra to think about it as Quay Jones swings through it and comes up empty, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. So it'll be interesting to see here how Enterprise can handle this, getting that early lead. Pitch comes inside and for a ball, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike for Trayson Christensen. That's going to be a big help when he takes the mound, understanding that if he does have a couple of jitters here, it might not cost him a lead. Ground ball hit to second base, fielded cleanly by Kirkham. His throw is low, but dug out by Gillett, and the inning comes to an end. But Enterprise does their damage. They get 2 runs in the top of the first, as it's Enterprise 2, Manti coming to bat. We'll see what the Templars can do in their first at-bat in the 2015 Class 2A Utah State Baseball Championship on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com. Bottom of the first inning here on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com. Manti coming up. We'll give you the starting lineup here for Manti. Leading off, it's going to be the shortstop, number 5, Derek Wright. Darren McLean in center field hits second. James Nelson will hit third as Trayson Christensen comes home and the first pitch misses off the plate for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes to count from the right-hander. Wes Wright in left field hits fourth. Kyle Robinson, the pitcher, fifth. Kelton Pritchard, the DH, hits sixth. Brad Segot in right field hits seventh. The 1-0 pitch on its way. That one misses just off the plate for ball 2. And it's 2 balls and no strikes to count here on Derek Wright. Casey Barnes, the third baseman, hits 8th. And Jack Gillett, the first baseman, rounds out the order and bats 9th. The 2-0 pitch on its way home. That one misses high, ball 3. And it's 3 balls and no strikes on the Manti leadoff hitter, Derek Wright. Defensively today for Enterprise, in the outfield, Kelton Hunt in left, Connor Phillips in center, Brandel Shumway in right. The 3-0 pitch on its way home is in there at the knees for a called strike, and it's 3 balls and a strike. On the infield, Bradley Clegg at third, Clint Simpkins at short, Quay Jones at second, Cole Stratton at first, Kason Bundy behind the plate, and Trayson Christensen on the mound. The 3-1 pitch, that one's going to be swung on and chopped over to third. Backhanded by Simpkins, long throw is in time for the first out of the inning. A good deep throw from Simpkins, and the first out's recorded. So with 1 out, that brings up center fielder Darren McLean. McLean looking to get something going for Manti. Again, we're scheduled to play 7 here in game 1, and game 2 would follow about 20 to 30 minutes after. If necessary, of course, that would have to be with an Enterprise win to have that final game. Christensen's first pitch into McLean. There's another fastball on at the knees. It's no balls and a strike. The only other meeting between these two teams came on Friday in a 1-0 win for Manti. Christensen sets, kicks, comes home, breaking ball, swung on, hit hard, 1 hopper to Simpkins. Makes another nice defensive play. The throw over is mishandled at first by Stratton, and McLean's on here in the second. The throw came over, and it looks like it just went right into his glove, and then he just kind of dropped it, and so that's going to go down as an error. And I believe they're going to get not McLean, but get Stratton for the error, as the throw was right on the money, but it just wasn't quite handled over at first base by Stratton. So with 1 away now, James Nelson, the catcher, is going to come to the plate. Manti looking to get something going offensively after giving up the 2 runs in the first. Christensen sets, comes home. There's a pitch right on the outside corner, and it's quickly no balls and a strike on James Nelson. No balls and 1 strike. The wind here, Christensen from the stretch. Comes home, that one swung on, hit out to right field. Coming in is Shumway. It's going to fall in front of him for a base hit. Quickly firing into second, but there standing is McLean. And Manti's got something of their own going here in the first. After a couple of men reach, here comes Wes Wright. Wright hitting in the cleanup spot. Where's number 9? And will stand in here with 1 away. An opportunity here, not very, not uncommon to see teams in a championship game struggle here in those first couple of minutes. The first pitch on its way, and that was swung on and missed. Faking like he was going to throw fire down to first was Kason Bundy, but it's just enough there to get James Nelson back to the base. No balls and 1 strike to count here on Wright. Quay Jones coming over, hitting his hand into his glove, trying to get that runner to think the throw's coming back. No balls and a strike. The pitch on its way. That one a good block by Bundy behind home plate. And the count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike here to Wes Wright. Two 2-0 Enterprise, bottom of the first inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark, the 2015 Class 2A Utah State Championship game. The 1-1 pitch is swung on and fouled straight back here by Wes Wright, and the count moves to 1 ball and 2 strikes. So if you're Trayson Christensen here, just looking for that big final strike to try to see here if you can't just build a little momentum. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. Big hole on that right side as Christensen checks the runner, delivers home. The 1-2 pitch, missing, low ball 2, and the count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. That was very close. You could hear the Enterprise fans trying to will that to be a called strike 3. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count. Christensen from the stretch takes a look into Kason Bundy behind home plate. Takes a look at second. Christensen now comes home. The 2-2 pitch. Right hits it well out to left field. Right at Kelton Honey, misplayed it. It's going to go to the wall. Coming around third, they're going to wave Darren McLean home. They're going to have to hold up late. The throw comes in, and James Nelson's caught. It's going home to the catcher, Bundy, who applies the tag. The snap throw to second, and back standing is Wes Wright. But Manti able to get 1 home there for Wes Wright. Credit him with an RBI on the hit. James Nelson just, in his defense, his coach did put up the stop sign when he was already coming around the bag, and just a great heads-up relay throw to come into third. So Darren McLean scores, and it's 2-1 Enterprise. Nelson cut down at third for the second out of the inning, and Wes Wright standing on at second base. First pitch to Kyle Robinson is swung out and missed, and it's no balls and a strike. Robinson, the pitcher, would love nothing here than after a hard start to the top of the first inning, then to come through with a base knock here. No balls and a strike, getting his lead out at second. Wes Wright bouncing around. Pitch on its way. That one's tapped right back to the pitcher. Fields it, throws it over to first, and the inning's over. Manti able to come back, and they get 1 back at the end of 1 from Brent Brown Ballpark in Orem. It's Enterprise 2, Manti 1. You're watching the 2015 Class 2A Utah State Baseball Tournament here on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com.
The dairy farmers of Utah would like to wish all participants good luck in today's event. Remember to refuel with chocolate milk for all the nutrition you need and to help perform at your best. Faucet tastes great. For over 50 years, Les Schwab has been committed to provide the customers the most for their tire dollar. Price, value, and selection. At Les Schwab, doing the right thing since 1952.
Top of the second inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark in Orem, Utah, on what is turning out to be a very nice day for baseball, and we have a state championship to decide. Right now, the Enterprise Wolves leading 2-1 in the top of the second inning. 8-9-1, it will be Cole Stratton, Trayson Christensen, Bradley Clegg as the first pitch in there at the knees for a called strike to first baseman Cole Stratton. We'll see now here as we move along if some of the nerves and jitters, maybe it might be out. The 0-1 pitch is swung on by Stratton. That one's popped up down the line. It's going to go foul and be no balls and 2 strikes on Cole Stratton. And that was, I mean, that is one negative aspect of the rain that came on Saturday, was you have all the buildup of the state championship game. You've sat around and thought about it for, you know, less than 24 hours. The 0-2 pitch, Stratton lines that one back up the middle for a base hit. So Stratton gets on with a leadoff single in the second, and that brings up Trayson Christensen. The negative buildup is that you've sat there and you've only thought about it for, I mean, really, if you're Manti, you played the day before at about 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Your game finishes, you're supposed to play till at 11:30 the next day. But then you have to wait around all of yesterday and a good portion of today and just think about it. You know, Enterprise not so bad since they played later, but the first pitch swung on and fouled away by Christensen. But it's still one of those effects, especially, you know, getting ready to play big games and, you know, have an opportunity to win a state title. You know, it just isn't easy to kind of see here, to sit back and try to just settle in really quickly. The 0-1 pitch fouled away by Christensen, and it's 0-2. And so it's one of those things where that's kind of the one negative aspect, but had all that extra time to think about it. But at the end of the day, it's still baseball. Once you get between the lines, it's just like any other game, but with a little more importance on the line. The 0-2 pitch, Christensen throws the bat head out, couldn't hold up in time. The first strikeout for Kyle Robinson, and the first out here in the second inning. And now we go back to the lineup and Bradley Clegg. Clegg started the game off with a walk on a 3-2 pitch and then came around to score the first run of the ball game for Enterprise. Pitch on its way home, that went inside and tight for a ball, and it's 1 ball and no strikes to count. Running over at first base is Cole Stratton. He had a hard hit single up the middle to get everything started here for Enterprise. 1-0 pitch on its way and throwing the bat head out there, appealed down to first. He did not go, says first base umpire Bill Hales, and the count moves to 2 balls and no strikes on Clegg. Clegg's been the staple in the Enterprise leadoff spot as the 2-0 pitch misses high, ball 3, and the count runs to 3 balls and no strikes on Clegg. Pitch comes inside and tight, and Bradley Clegg for the second time in the ballgame has walked, and Enterprise has a couple of men on here in the second inning. Clint Simpkins going to come to the plate. Simpkins is 0 for 1. He grounded out to first. The season for Enterprise started, they took on Hurricane and then swung on. That one's hit out into the gap. That could be trouble. It's going to split the outfielders, and it's going to roll. Cutting it off is Wes Wright. Coming around third is Stratton. He will score. It's 3-1 Enterprise. Clegg gets to third. Simpkins is standing on second, and we're going to have a visit out to the mound, and Kyle Robinson's day might be coming to an end. If you're Manti, you can lose this one and still win the state championship, but you'd much rather just take care of it for the first time here. Nonetheless, just a quick visit out here to kind of make sure you have Robinson calm down. So this will be a key visit and a key point in the game, because if that run scores from second in this case, if you're Manti, you're going to get down into a big deficit early. Home plate umpire John Voss will walk out and try to break up the visit on the mound as Kyle Robinson will go back to work here, and he'll get Kason Bundy. Bundy had a hard RBI single down the left field line on a pitch that was up in the strike zone, and he lined it down the left field line in his first at-bat, coming last inning in the first. A couple of men on. Manti bringing the infield in. First pitch, a breaking ball that breaks beautifully over the middle of the plate for a called strike, 0-1. Enterprise has played some very good competition. The 0-1 pitch swung on by Bundy and fouled away. Started the season taking on the Dixie High School JV team, losing 11-4, and then also losing to Desert Hills. Desert Hills, one of those teams that typically will compete for a 3A crown. They lost to them 5-4. That one's going to be swung on and fouled back to the screen. It'll be 0-2 again here on Bundy. They took on Rockwell, won 34-1 and 30-0. Beat Parowan 16-1. Diamond Ranch 10-0. So this is a team that can swing the bat. Played well at the Chuck Wagon Classic, winning 4 games in mid-March. That one misses for a ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Beating Hurricane, Morgan, Gunnison, and Kanab. And then just played very well in their region play. That one swung on by Bundy, grounded to third. It's going to be a fair ball. They're going to come home. The throw, though, bounced. The throw back to third to get Clegg in on a dive, and he's safe. He got around the tag of Casey Barnes, and everybody is safe here for Enterprise. And an explanation is going to be wanted here by the Manti coach as he came out there. It was a bang-bang play, but it looks like Bradley Clegg was able to kind of dive around the tag there as that throw came low. So Clegg very lucky to get back. The bases are loaded for Brandel Shumway, and Enterprise an opportunity to really break this one open. The right-hander comes home, and the pitch is swung out and missed. No balls and a strike to Shumway. The only loss that this Enterprise team took in their region was an 8-7 loss to Delta. And that was back in March 27th. Breaking ball, Shumway fights it off the inner part of his hands and just is able to foul it away, and it's quickly no balls and 2 strikes to count. And so they're gonna, looks like they're called Shumway. Looks like Shumway gets on via the hit by pitch. So Clegg comes in to score, and it's 4-1. So Shumway reaches, and now Connor Phelps stands in and takes outside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes to count. So a good opportunity here. Obviously Enterprise, a very good team, looking to try to really now already up 3. That one away, and the count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. And Kyle Robinson right now struggling to find the strike zone. You don't want to get down too much too early. Infield playing in, they're definitely looking here if you're Enterprise to cut the run down. Phelps swings and pops it up. That one into shallow left field. West Wright is there, won't be deep enough to get the run home as Wright makes the play for the second out of the inning. So with 2 outs, Kelton Hunt comes to the plate. Hunt was hit by a pitch, awarded first base on a pitch that came inside, and he kind of swung around, but I guess they're going to say he held up, and he held up enough there to keep it from going through. So base is full here for Enterprise. Robinson comes home, breaking ball. That one settles right in at the knees, and it's no balls and a strike. It's a great breaking ball there that started kind of off the plate and just kind of broke right back over the inner corner. No balls and a strike. Everyone gets their lead. The pitch comes home, and that one sits right on the outside corner, and it's quickly no balls and 2 strikes to count. This is an Enterprise team that scored 284 runs, the most in 2A competition, as that one misses high for a ball, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. They scored 284 runs compared to only giving up 78. That 78 number, I believe here, just kind of quickly scanning, was second, as that one's going to be grounded over to third. Knocked down quickly, trying to field it, sliding in, and they're going to say Casey Barnes did get enough there to get the bag. But the 2 more runs come across here in the inning, and we head to the bottom of the second inning at Brent Brown Ballpark. Enterprise 4, Manti 1. You're watching the 2015 Class 2A Utah State Baseball Tournament on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com.
For Enterprise in the top half of the second inning, he scored 2 runs on 2 hits. There was 1 man by air and 3 runners left on base.
Bottom of the second inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark in Orem, Utah, and you couldn't ask for a better start if you're the Enterprise Wolves, as they've scored 2 in the first and 2 in the second and lead this one 4-1 as Manti comes up 6, 7, and 8. Kelton Pritchard to stand in and lead it off, the designated hitter. Stands in here against Trayson Christensen, and the kick and the delivery comes home, and that one misses away for a ball, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. It'll be Pritchard, Segot, and Barnes, 6, 7, and 8 coming up here against Christensen. Christensen here working from the windup will kick and come home, and the pitch is low for ball 2, and it's 2 balls and no strikes to count. Two balls and no strikes to count. Christensen gets the sign, kicks and comes home with the 2-0 pitch. There's a fastball in there about belt high, and it's 2 balls and a strike. The season for Manti started back in March at the Moab Invitational. The 2-1 pitch on its way home, and that ball swung on by Pritchard, lined out into left center field, but coming over is Phelps, and the ball hangs up there just enough for Connor Phelps to put it away for the first out of the second inning. So with 1 out, it's going to bring up right fielder Brad Segot.
Right fielder, number 22, Brad
Segot, I'm sorry about that. So Segot will come up to the plate. Manti started back in the Moab Invitational, beat Grand County 23-16. They had some games early on where they were able to put up multiple times 10 or plus runs, as the pitch to Segot misses away for a ball, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. Also in that tournament, took on Summit Academy, 1-6-5. Had a 22-0 win over North Summit. Played also in that same Chuck Wagon Classic as well, beating team from Arizona in the first day. That one a breaking ball that stays high for ball 2, 2 balls and no strikes. Beating them 12-3, beating Kanab 11-1, Morgan 8-1, before losing to Richfield 6-1. 2 balls and no strikes. The kick and the delivery comes home. That one inside as Segot takes it, and it's ball 3, 3 balls and a strike. When they got into region play, they lost the game to Summit Academy 8-7, South Summit 14-4. Other than that, they've been on cruise control as a 3-0 pitch in there for a called strike. Their last loss came on April the 10th. That loss to South Summit 14-4. And they've just cruised ever since. 3 balls and a strike. The wind and the delivery home is swung on, and that one's going to be fouled away. And the count runs to 3 balls and 2 strikes here on Brad Segot. Manti looking to try to get something going, as they've right now did put up the run on the top of the first, but still trail this one 4-1. The right-hander Christensen set on the mound. He'll step off here. Some umbrellas are in the crowd today, not to protect from rain like they were the last few days, but to kind of give them some shade here. As the 3-2 pitch on its way home. That one swung on, grounded right to second. Quay Jones is there, fields it cleanly. The throw to first is in time, and Trayson Christensen's gotten the first 2 men of the inning as Casey Barnes, the third baseman, comes to the plate. Barnes had the defensive play in the bottom half of the inning where he kind of bobbled the baseball, but was able to get enough on it to tag first base or be able to try to see what he could do and tag the runner. He did get the out, which was the main thing there to end that threat for Enterprise. Enterprise will move everybody back at normal depth. Kelton Hunt playing about 7 or 8 steps off the warning track in left field. The wind and the delivery home. That one misses away with the fastball, and it's 1 ball and no strikes to count here on Casey Barnes. Scheduled to play 7 innings here. If Enterprise holds on and wins, we're playing at game 2. The final elimination game, winner gets the state championship. The 1-0 pitch, that one misses away with the fastball, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. Weather at game time, 65 degrees, partly cloudy, and very light wind. So I don't think you can ask for better forecast for May baseball here in Utah. The 2-0 pitch on its way home. That one swung on by Barnes and fouled away. And the count moves to 2 balls and a strike here with 2 outs. Casey Barnes wearing the number 00 on his jersey. A number you don't see a ton in baseball or in many sports. The 2-1 pitch swung on, popped up. Give it over to look to third base is Clegg. Bundy going to give it a look, but it's going to hit foul off the netting and roll back almost all the way back out to the catcher's area. And Casey Barnes will make his way back into the batter's box. It's been a fun tournament throughout to watch here at 2A. To see the run of North Sevier, to kind of come through that bottom part of that bracket and stay alive up until Saturday. To be one run away from the state championship game where the 2-2 pitch, breaking ball swung on, popped up, hit into center field. Connor Phelps going back, calls everyone off. He'll make the play, and a 3-up, 3-down inning for Trayson Christensen and Enterprise. So 3-up, 3-down. We've played 2 here at Brent Brown Ballpark. Enterprise 4, Manti 1. You're watching the 2015 Class 2A Utah State Baseball Championship game here on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com.
Check out the Deseret News for the best place to read about prep sports. Online at DesNews.com. Deseret News, now you know. Stats and standings are available at MaxPreps.com, the official stats partner of UHSAA. Visit MaxPreps.com for stats, schedules, rosters, and more. Max Preps, American source for high school sports. Today's event is being streamlined live online and will be available for replay at any time at live.ksl.com. Watch the replay of today's event for free online at live.ksl.com.
Bottom of the third inning here on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com. The Enterprise Wolves have scored 2 in the first, 2 in the second. I'm sure they'd love to add 2 more here in the third as 7, 8, 9, Quade Jones, Cole Stratton, and Trayson Christensen coming up here against the right-hander Kyle Robinson, who misses away with the fastball, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. Quade Jones 0 for 1, grounded out to second, back in to end that first inning. The 1-0 pitch swung on and just enough contact made to hear the ping off the bat as it goes back to the backstop, and the count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike. 3A state tournament beginning next week, or beginning on Thursday down in Dixie. That one away for ball 2, and it's 2 balls and a strike. And the 4A, 5A tournament beginning next Monday right here at Brent Brown Ballpark. The 2-1 pitch swung on and missed, and the count moves to 2 balls and 2 strikes here on Quade Jones. Jones grounded out to second base as the 2-2 pitch comes home. That one right off the plate, ball 3. And the count runs full, 3 balls and 2 strikes on Quade Jones. So it'll be a busy couple of weeks here for baseball here at Brent Brown Ballpark and also down in Dixie as Jones swings and fouls that one off, and it came up and hit the netting and will roll back onto the field. The 2A softball championship game going on today as well down in Spanish Fork. They're getting that one in as the 3-2 pitch swung on and fouled away. That one came off and hit directly off the roof and rolled back into about the first row of seats right next to the dugout. 3-2 pitch on its way. That one's going to be swung on, hit into left center field. Ranging over is McLean, puts his glove up and makes the play for the first out of the third inning. So with 1 away, Cole Stratton will come to the plate. Stratton on the day, 1 for 1, had a single, and then that single came around to score. And that single then kind of helped everything get ready to go as Stratton will stand in. It was a pretty hard hit ball just right back up the box into center field that kind of got everything going here. Latest score that I have, South Summit leading San Juan 10-2 after 5.5. It's the last score that I have updated in the 2A softball state championship game as that one comes in for a called strike and it's 0-1. If South Summit does beat San Juan, there will be a game 2 at the 2A softball state championship game down the Spanish Fork complex. The 0-1 pitch coming home, that one swung on and popped up. And that one's going to go foul. That one fouled away, and Cole Stratton down on the count. No balls and 2 strikes. So a heavy day with 2 state championships to be decided. 4A, 5A action beginning their tournaments tomorrow. The 0-2 pitch, that one high and tight for a ball, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. So a fun and very busy time when state championships get ready to be awarded. Cole Stratton standing in, looking to try to help Enterprise to force a game 2. The 1-2 pitch swung on, grounded to third, and it's going to be cut off by the shortstop, Derek Wright, but he won't have a throw. And Cole Stratton's 2 for 2 today with 2 singles for Enterprise. Not the hardest hit baseball, just one that was rolled over into the hole, and Derek Wright was able to backhand it, and when Wright backhanded it, there was just no play as Christensen comes to the plate. Trayson Christensen went down on a strike 3 check swing, and the first pitch is swung on, popped up. Ball hit up into right field. Sego coming in, and he'll make the play, and the second out of the inning's recorded. That's a high, just fly ball, hits the outfield. That's not an easy play on a day like today where it's just blue sky, very few clouds, and bright sunshine, but the play is made, and here comes Bradley Clegg. Clegg walked and scored in the first, walked and scored in the second, so he's hit in the first 2 innings of this one. Hitting here with 2 outs in the third, and the first pitch to Clegg, high and tight, runner goes, and Nelson mishandled the baseball as he just kind of, I don't know if he dropped it or it came out of his glove on the transfer, but end of the day, Cole Stratton finds himself stealing second base, and he's in scoring position with 2 outs here in the third. 4-1 Enterprise leading at top of the third inning. The 1-0 pitch, that one's high, and twisting out of the way there is Clegg, and the count moves to 2 balls and no strikes. The 2-0 pitch, the kick and the delivery, that one's high and tight again, ball 3, and the count moves to 3 balls and no strikes the count here on Bradley Clegg. Enterprise in the white with blue tops, Manti in the red. Clegg taking all the way, will walk for the 3rd time this afternoon, and with 2 away, Clint Simpkins will come to the plate. Simpkins grounded out to first and had an RBI double back in the second. Simpkins will hit from the left side of the plate. Good speed on the base paths in Stratton and Clegg. First pitch is swung on and rolled foul down the right field line, and be no balls and a strike here on Simpkins. Case and Bundy in the on-deck circle for Enterprise. This has been a big part of their lineup, 1, 2, and 3 so far on the afternoon. No balls and a strike. And Robinson comes home, swung out and missed. Simpkins just kind of throwing the bat out there, and Kate just didn't make contact with anything, and it's no balls and 2 strikes. They count on the left-handed hitting shortstop for Enterprise. Runners get their lead. Runners check, coming home, the 0-2 pitch, fastball misses high, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes here on Simpkins. Kyle Robinson looking for that big strike 3 and keep Enterprise off the board. He might have gotten it here with a ground ball. Fielded by Kirkham. His throw to first is in time. And Kyle Robinson able to keep Enterprise off the board. We head to the bottom of the 3rd inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark. It's Enterprise 4, Manti 1. You're watching the 2015 Class 2A Utah State Baseball Tournament on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com.
Once again, you guys didn't tell us about the snapbacks. Gosh dang, you didn't tell us about the snapbacks again? Thought we talked about this? Okay. Nice. Yeah, you too. Way to give us the memo. You, all 3 of you were there. Yeah. Well, it's all right. Go Kyle. Yeah. We'll see.
Manti playing first base, number 21, Jack.
Bottom of the third inning here on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com at 9-1 and 2. Jack Gillett, Derek Wright, Darren McLean coming up for Manti as Trayson Christensen kicks and delivers a breaking ball. It swung on and missed by Gillett, and it's no balls and 1 strike to count. On the 9-hole hitter for Manti, looking to try to see if they can get something going here in the third. Trayson Christensen hasn't been perfect, but kept him in check. That one inside and tight, and that one hits Jack Gillett. And Gillett will be on first base here with nobody out here in the third. And that one just kind of came in. There's no way for Gillett to try to get out of the way of that. And now that's going to bring up Derek Wright. Back to the top of the Manti lineup. Derek Wright 0 for 1, grounded out to short, and Clint Simpkins to open up the ball game for Manti offensively. As now he'll stand in here and try to see Derek Wright, number 5. Open stance, stands in the batter's box. Christensen, the right-hander, coming set and comes home. That one swung on, popped up. Giving it a look over to first is Cole Stratton, but it's going to get foul and will hit off the stadium roof here at Brent Brown Ballpark, and it'll be no balls and a strike. On deck, it's going to be Darren McLean, number 7. He'll follow will be James Nelson, the top of this Manti lineup. No balls and a strike. The wind and the delivery, that one misses away. Ball 1, evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Nobody out here in the bottom of the third inning. Jack Gillett started it off for Manti, was hit by a pitch. Wright standing in here from the right side of the plate. Gets that bat just over his shoulder, kind of waving it around. And the 1-1 pitch swung on and missed as he came back and he took a swing through there and came up empty. And the count moves to 1 ball and 2 strikes here on Wright. In the on-deck circle, Darren McLean. Gillett over at first, not a ton of speed, but he can move decently over there at first base. The 1-2 pitch swung on and missed. Trayson Christensen gets strikeout number 1 of the afternoon. His first swinging, the first out of the inning, and now brings up Darren McLean. So Christensen just kind of stung back and just fired that one through, and when he did, on the other end, it was McLean coming up empty. No balls and a strike, big hole on that right side as Gillett gets his lead. Runner being held on. The breaking ball misses away. Good job by Bundy there to keep that one in front of him. Quade Jones playing over towards closer to the second base bag and double play depth. So that big hole kind of settling in on the right side if you were to ground one through there. 1 ball and no strikes to count. McLean standing in, and the 1-0 pitch on its way. That one just on the outside corner. Just kind of painted it beautifully right there. And when it just kind of settled there, it was an easy called strike. So 1 ball and 1 strike to count. McLean standing in. Over at third base, it's Bradley Clegg playing even with the third base bag. Outfield straight away here for Enterprise. 1-1 pitch coming home. Breaking ball swung on, grounded to short. Simpkins will take it to second himself. Relay to first is in time for the 6-3 double play, and that ends the third inning. At the end of 3 complete here from Brent Brown Ballpark, it's Enterprise 4, Manti 1. You're watching the 2015 Class 2A Utah State Baseball Championship game on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com.
After 3 complete, it remains Enterprise 4, Manti 1. RPC is a proud sponsor of high school activities. Visit rpconline.com for more information. RPC providing 40 years of exceptional patient care.
Top of the fourth inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark. The Enterprise Wolves coming up. They'll have the heart of their order, 3, 4, and 5. Bundy, Shumway, and Phelps coming up. Cason Bundy is 1 for 2 on the afternoon. Grounded into a fielder's choice in his last at-bat. And the wind and the delivery home from Robinson is high with the fastball, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. Bundy had an RBI single in the first to help bring home that second run of the first inning for Enterprise. The 1-0 pitch, that one swung on, grounded foul down the third baseline, and we'll do have a 1-1 pitch coming. The fielder's choice not counting as an official at bat since somebody else gets out on the ground ball. The 1-1 pitch, the wind and the delivery home. That one swung on by Bundy, lined up and reaching and leaping into the air is Kirkham to come away with it. A line drive shot that Kirkham's able to kind of just fully extend, reach up, and is able to snow cone it to make the out for the first out of the fourth inning. A line drive shot just hit right at somebody as Brandel Shumway comes to the plate. Shumway's been hit by a pitch twice. And the first pitch on its way, that one bounces in the dirt for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes to count. Shumway hitting in the cleanup spot. Stands back in. Even stance, and the 1-0 pitch coming home from Robinson is low on away ball 2, and it's 2 balls and no strikes to count. Infield playing back here for Enterprise, or for Manti, as the 2-0 pitch on its way. Breaking ball misses low on away ball 3, and it's 3 balls and no strikes to count here to Brandel Shumway. Gets some pick up the baseball and tossing it back to the umpires, Connor Phelps, in that on deck circle. 3 balls and no strikes to count. Standing back in is Shumway. Taking all the way, that one bounces in, ball 4. Brandel Shumway's on here with 1 out in the fourth inning on the walk, and now that brings up Connor Phelps. Phelps is 0 for 2, popped out to Gillett, and then also hit a fly ball out to left field to West right. Shumway with good speed gets his lead at first base, inching closer towards second. Phelps swings and lines that one into the gap. Coming over and not getting there is McLean. It's going to roll all the way out into deep left center field. Getting the green light, coming around third is Shumway. The relay throw is going to be cut off. It's 5-1 Enterprise here in the fourth. A ball that was hit to center field that Darren McLean, it looks like, might have misplayed, took maybe 1 step in too close, and then when that happened, there was no retreating as the ball just goes over his head. And luckily that ball kind of died, because if it had more roll on it, that one could have gotten all the way to the wall. Connor Phelps, an RBI double, 5-1 Enterprise. The first pitch on its way, swung on and fouled away by Kelton Hunt, and it's no balls and a strike. Hunt, has been hit by a pitch and grounded into a fielder's choice back in that second inning. And one of the Manti coaches bringing out the baseball to James Nelson here. Quick conversation between the umpire and Kyle Robinson on the mound. As Robinson will head back onto the mound. Quick word too, Kelton Hunt having a word with his head coach down the third base line. No balls and 1 strike to count. 1 away, top of the fourth inning. Thank you for tuning in. You're watching the 2015 Class 2A Utah State Baseball Championship game. And no balls and a strike. The bunt here as Hunt throws the bat out there and chased it. It's no balls and 2 strikes. Kelton Hunt trying to say he pulled the bat back in time, but that bat was pretty much held out there the entire time that pitch was coming. No balls and 2 strikes to count. The pitch comes home, breaking ball, and that one high, maybe, I guess, a little on the inside, but anyway, at the end of the day, it's a ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The 1-2 pitch, Robinson comes home, and that one swung on and missed. And the second strikeout of the afternoon here for Robinson comes here in the fourth inning. Second strikeout he's gotten a Wolf to go down swinging, and with 2 outs, Quay Jones comes to the plate. Jones on the day is grounded out to second and flew out to center field back to start the 3rd inning. First pitch is a breaking ball. That one settles in there across the belt, and it's no balls and a strike. Connor Phelps, the runner on at second base for Enterprise, gets his lead. And the 0-1 pitch swung on and missed as Jones took a very hard and aggressive swing and couldn't quite catch up. It'll be no balls and 2 strikes to count here on Quay Jones. Runner goes, the pitch is a pitch out, the throw down to third. Did they get him? No, they did not. Connor Phelps able to beat the throw and slides underneath the tag. And so Enterprise not afraid to steal bases is what one thing they're showing Manti here, as the throw came down and the tag was applied. Phelps able to probably get to that far outside part of the bag. The 1-2 pitch sits just off the plate for a ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. Tough pitch if you're Quay Jones there to lay off, but a good eye as that one must have just been just off the plate. 2-2 pitch on its way home, and that one swung on and fouled away. Quay Jones just kind of trying to think of how to describe his swings. He just kind of brings the bat back and just, I don't want to say just kind of swings hard, doesn't slap at the baseball, kind of like you would see a fast pitch softball, but just kind of swings around, tries to kind of pull the swing around. Pitch misses away, ball 3. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes. I would say it's somewhat kind of similar to a swing like maybe a Dustin Ackley of the Seattle Mariners. Kind of a left-handed hitter himself. The 3-2 pitch swung on and hit out to left field. Wes Wright going back, gets under it. Now kind of retraces his steps and makes the catch for the final out of the 4th inning. But Enterprise adds 1 here on a 4th on an RBI double by Connor Phelps. We head to the bottom of the 4th inning here in Orem. It's Enterprise 5, Manti 1. You're watching the 2015 Class 2A Utah State Baseball Championship game here on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com. Bottom of the 4th inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark in Orem, Utah, on a bright sunny day for baseball. The snow just kind of covering the top of the Wasatch Mountains that you can see off in the left center field area here at Brent Brown Ballpark, as we sit at the the corner of the Utah Valley University campus, as 3, 4, and 5 will come up here for Manti. James Nelson, 1 for 1 today with a single, stands in, takes the first pitch low and inside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. B. Nelson, Wes Wright, and Kyle Robinson coming up here for Manti. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. And the wind and the delivery coming home from Christensen. Misses low and away, ball 2, and it's 2 balls and no strikes here on James Nelson. Nelson got on with a single, and then when Wes Wright had his RBI double that went pretty deep, a great relay throw from Enterprise got Nelson at third. That's a fly ball hit high into the afternoon sky. Coming in, getting under it, and holding on to make the catch is Kelton Hunt for the first out of the 4th inning. Nelson was aboard when after the single, he came around third base on that relay throw, and Kelton Hunt hit Clint Simpkins, and kind of slipping was James Nelson. And when the throw came into to third, Nelson was caught. So here's Wes Wright, RBI double on his first at bat. He kind of gets out of the way of an inside pitch for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes to count. It was Wright who hit a very hard ball, the deep left center field. But Kelton Hunt's been playing very deep to try to cut off some of those balls from getting all the way to the wall. The deepest outfielder I've probably seen of the tournament. 1-0 pitch, misses away, ball 2, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. He is playing, my guess, about maybe 4 or 5 steps in front of the warning track. That's the dirt part separates the grass from the outfield wall. And so he's playing about 4 or 5 steps off that. 2-0 pitch on its way home, and that one missing off the plate, ball 3, and the count runs to 3 balls and no strikes. So just a good opportunity here if you're Wes Wright to try to get something going for Manti. Manti with 1 run on 2 hits on the afternoon. Trayson Christensen's been in control. Wright will show bump, pulls it back, and takes it away, ball 4. So Wes Wright's on for the second time, and with 1 out, Manti's got a base runner for Kyle Robinson. Robinson grounded back to the pitcher. Trayson Christensen back to end the first inning, back when Wes Wright was on at second base. So Robinson looking to try to get something going with the bat. Not the best start on the mound for Robinson. Robinson, of course, pitching the other night against Delta and Manti's 3-2 win on Friday. He pitched a complete game, allowed the 6 hits, the 2 runs, didn't walk anybody, struck out 10, but tonight's been a little bit different story this afternoon. 1 out, and the first pitch from Christensen to Robinson is in there at the knees for a called strike, and it's 0-1. So pitcher against pitcher here. We'll see who will win this duel. The first one going to Trayson Christensen. No balls and 1 strike to count. The right-hander Christensen working from the stretch. Takes a look over his shoulder to Wes Wright at first. Now he'll turn and step off the mound, and Christensen's been willing to at times to be a little more patient when he's got runners on base. That's not a bad thing to kind of take your time, make sure you got the right pitch. That one swung on, popped up. Giving it a look, a long run for Quade Jones. Jones is going to get over in foul territory because it's going to go right off his glove. It was a long run for Quade Jones, but probably, I mean, you could say, I mean, it hit him in the glove, so a catchable ball. But with that long run, the ball will go foul. You can have a situation like that, can be technically ruled an error. But in this situation, I mean, the long run for Jones, that would be kind of tough here as action will begin down in the bullpen for Enterprise. I think that's number 11, Chandler Bowler, starting to get loose. We've seen Bowler a couple times in relief. No balls and 2 strikes. Breaking ball swung on, grounded right up the middle. This could be 2, going to short for 1, and they're not going to have the relay throw as the Enterprise is trying to have the conversation that Wes Wright interfered with the throw. Now we'll have a conversation. If it is, it will be a double play. Wes Wright didn't really slide or anything, and they're going to double him off, and the inning's over. After they confer, they're going to say that Wes Wright interfered with the throw, and for the second time in the tournament, we have an inning that ends on a interference on the double play. At the end of 4 complete from Brent Brown Ballpark, Enterprise 5, Manti 1. You're watching the 2015 Class 2A Utah State Baseball Championship game on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com.
up for Enterprise, playing first base, number 13, Cole Stratton.
Top of the 5th inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark in Orem, Utah. Enterprise will send up 8-9-1 against Kyle Robinson, who misses away for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes to count. Stratton is 2 for 2 on the day, had a single and scored a run in the second, and then had a single back in the third before being stranded at second base. The 1-0 pitch misses away, ball 2, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. So that last inning there, the double play, the interference call, they're saying that Wes Wright, instead of sliding or getting out of the way of the throw, prevented the throw coming down to first, and 2 balls and a strike as swung on a miss there by Stratton, and makes the count 2 balls and a strike. So you got to credit Enterprise there for not trying to make the throw, but for doing the right thing there, and the umpires agreed. Base hit back up the middle for Cole Stratton, his 3rd hit of the afternoon. He's 3 for 3, and Enterprise has the leadoff man on once again here in the 5th inning for Trayson Christensen. So Christensen struck out and then lined out back to flew out to right field. So now runners on at first, nobody away. The first pitch on its way, bunt being showed, snap throw down to first. Stratton almost picked off, but the ball goes off of Gillett and it will be picked up there by Kirkham at second base. Kyle Robinson wants a new baseball. South Summit leading 11-5 over San Juan. South Summit holds on that final game. Final inning. They'll head a second game. They'll force the second game down in Spanish Fork for the 2A softball championship as a pickoff move. Diving back safely is Cole Stratton. No balls and 1 strike to count on Trayson Christensen. 0-1 pitch. That one's going to be laid down. That's a beautiful bunt laid down. Robinson's going to have to barehand it, and the throw goes past the first baseman, Gillett. Everybody will move up 90 feet. Trying to dive for it was Robinson. He tried to flip it from the ground, and when he did, it was just arid. It was a wild and arid throw down past the first baseman. And so moving down to third, reaching on the air is Trayson Christensen, and Enterprise with runners on at first and second, and Kyle Robinson's day has come to an end. So we'll introduce you to the new pitcher for Manti here in the 5th, as it's 5-1 Enterprise, and the Wolves are threatening again here at the 2015 Class 2A Utah State Baseball Championship on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com.
pitching for Manti, number 2, James Nelson.
Top of the 5th inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark. Some changes.
Number 14, Chris Shaw.
Some changes defensively here for Manti. The new pitcher is going to be number 2, James Nelson, who will move from behind the plate to on the mound. Kyle Robinson will move from pitching to behind the plate, and the first pitch from James Nelson's away to Bradley Clegg. 1 ball and no strikes to count. Chris Schock, number 14, running on at second base now as the courtesy runner for Enterprise, as that one comes inside and away for a ball, and the count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike. So Schock running for Trayson Christensen as the 1-1 pitch from Nelson misses high and away, ball 2, and it's 2 balls and a strike. And here, Enterprise with just an opportunity here to open this one up. The 2-1 pitch on its way home comes inside, ball 3, and the count runs to 3 balls and a strike here on Bradley Clegg. Clegg has walked 3 times in this ball game. He's 1 ball away from walking for the 4th time. That one swung on, 1 hop to third, off the glove of Casey Barnes, and Clegg is aboard. So we'll see here how they want to rule this, whether they're going to rule it a hit or an error. Just waiting to see here on the scoreboard how and they're going to give that an E5. So the 5th error of the ball game against Manti, as now the bases are full. First pitch to Clint Simpkins is away for the ball. 1 ball and no strike. Simpkins on the day, he's grounded to third, had an RBI double, and also grounded out to second as he swings through the 1-0 pitch, and the count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike. So Manti maybe dipping into that bullpen a little bit earlier than they would have liked to have here in the 5th as the 1-1 pitch comes home. That one swung on and missed, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. But much needed because you don't want to get down too much in this one. And with runs 6, 7, and 8 on the base pass, not a bad call. There's a base hit by Simpkins into right field. Coming in to score is going to be Stratton. Holding at third is Schock, and an RBI single for Clint Simpkins, and it's 6-1 Enterprise. Clegg moves to second on the RBI single, and now Kason Bundy comes to the plate. Bundy has an RBI single in the first, ground out into a fielder's choice, and a line out to second on a ball. And that one skips away from Robinson, and Schock made his first move back to the bag, and you could tell his third base coach there put his hands on his knees. You could tell that he wanted Schock to go home on that. Pitch bounced away from Robinson, ball 1, and it's 1 ball and no strikes here on Kason Bundy. Bundy, the catcher, stands in, and the 1-0 pitch on its way home. That one swung on, popped up straight into the air. Infield fly rule in effect, so the first out of the inning recorded, and the first out here of the 5th inning. So with 1 out, Brandel Shumway will come to the plate. Shumway has been hit by a pitch twice, and then also walked and came around to score in the 4th inning. And the first pitch on its way is swung out and missed as Shumway got a pitch up in the strike zone, just couldn't quite make contact, and it's no balls and a strike. Enterprise on the day has left 8 men on base. The 0-1 pitch on its way home is in there again, this one at the knees, and it's no balls and 2 strikes the count here on Brandel Shumway. Outfield playing pretty normal depth, West right and left, McLean and Seago. That one blocked in the dirt. Good stop by Robinson, and the count evens at 2-2. (6-1) Enterprise, top of the 5th inning. Bases full, and the 1-2 pitch swung on and missed, and James Nelson has his first strikeout of the ball game, and the second out of the inning, a much needed strikeout. And with 2 outs now, Connor Phelps comes to the plate. Phelps had an RBI double in the 4th inning to help plate the 1 run for Enterprise. The pitch there missing off the plate for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. And really, if you look at it for Manti, only allowing with having the bases loaded, nobody out, the 1 run here would be huge. Phelps hits that one high into the air. West right sprinting over in the bullpen area, makes the play, and Enterprise leaves the bases loaded. A golden opportunity for the Wolves, but they do get 1 we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. It's Enterprise 6, Manti 1. You're watching the 2015 Class 2A Utah State Baseball Championship game on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com.
3 runners left on base.
Bottom of the 5th inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark. Enterprise on top, 6-1 over Manti. Manti able to score 1 in the bottom of the 1st inning, and so far that's been it, as Kelton Pritchard will stand in to lead it off. Pritchard's 0 for 1 with a fly out to center, swings at the first pitch, and came up empty. It's no balls and a strike. Great to be with you on this Monday afternoon. I'm Ryan Pickens. Thank you for tuning in to this game and throughout the tournament. We hope that these final game here can be a pleasant one. The 0-1 pitch swung on and fouled back, and it's 0-2. I guess, of course, right now that depends on which team you want to win. If you're an Enterprise fan, it's been very pleasant. If you're Manti, it hasn't exactly been the easiest game of the season for you. But right now, if this result right now, if this score would hold up over the next 2.5 innings, we're heading to a final game that will take place about 20 to 30 minutes. We've been told 20 minutes after the conclusion of this one. No balls and 2 strikes the count. The right-hander, Trayson Christensen, comes home. That one inside for a ball, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes the count here. Pritchard and then Brad Seago on deck, and Casey Barnes. 6, 7, and 8 coming up. Looking to get something going if you're Manti here. The 1-2 pitch, that one away, ball 2. And the count moves to 2 balls and 2 strikes here on Kelton Pritchard. Pritchard hit a fly ball to center field that Connor Phelps just moved back on and under it to make the play back in the 2nd. The 2-2 pitch home, the wind and the delivery, breaking ball swung on and missed as Pritchard chased one way out of the zone. You can tell he's frustrated about it. The 2nd strikeout for Christensen of the ball game, the 1st here in the 5th inning, and now Brad Seago is going to come to the plate. Seago 0 for 1, grounded out to 2nd base. Back in the 2nd inning as Manti went down 1-2-3 in that 2nd inning. The wind and the delivery from Christensen, a fastball that misses high for a ball, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. One of the big things hurting Manti has been those 5 errors. Haven't had a hit since the 2nd inning. The 1-0 pitch on its way, breaking ball sits right on the outside corner as Seago takes it for a called strike, and the count evens at 1. I'm going to correct myself. They haven't had a hit since the 1st inning. The other base runners have been either via walk or a hit batter. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. Christensen kicks and comes home. That one swung on, high chopper hit to short. Simpkins is there, his throw across the diamonds in time to get Seago, and there's 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Just a high chopper that Clint Simpkins was able to field quickly and make a good enough throw over to first in time to get Seago, and now here comes Casey Barnes. Barnes 0 for 1, flew out to Connor Phelps in center field, back to end that 2nd inning. Christensen kicks, comes home, and there's a fastball in there for a called strike at the knees. It's no balls and a strike. Jack Gillett in the on-deck circle, then it would be Derek Wright if the inning should continue. No balls and a strike. The right-hander Christensen kicks and comes home. That pitch swung on and fouled back, and it's no balls and 2 strikes the count here on Casey Barnes. Trayson Christensen has just kind of put it on cruise control after giving up that run in the first, and he's just settled in for Enterprise. The 0-2 pitch on its way, and that's going to be just low and away for a ball, and the count evens at 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. One-two pitch, the kick and the delivery comes. That one's going to be swung on and tapped over to first. Stratton is there, underhands it to Christensen covering, and the 5th inning comes to an end. 3 up and 3 down goes Manti again here in the 5th. We have played 5 complete at Brent Brown Ballpark. It's Enterprise 6, Manti 1. You're watching the 2015 Class 2A Utah State Baseball Tournament on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com.
Up Enterprise, the left fielder, number 5, Kelton Hunt.
Top of the 6th inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark. Enterprise coming up and looking to try to maybe add a run or two of insurance here, as the first pitch from James Nelson is over on the outside corner for a called strike to Kelton Hunt. Hunt has struck out, grounded out, and also was hit by a pitch. The 0-1 pitch on the way, and that one in there for a called strike 2, and it's no balls and 2 strikes. No 2 pitch on its way home, misses low, ball 2, or ball 1 I mean, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes to count here on Kelton Hunt. Hunt, Jones, and Stratton coming up. The 1-2 pitch, swung on and missed, strike 3, and James Nelson has his second strikeout here of the ball game, and the first out of the 6th inning, and now Quade Jones will come to the plate. Jones has grounded to second, flown to center, and flown out to right. On the afternoon, the right-hander, James Nelson, kicks and comes home, and the pitch is swung on and missed. No balls and a strike. On deck, it's a 3-for-3 Cole Stratton for Enterprise. 0-1 pitch, kicks, comes home. There's a fastball that misses away. And the count evens up here at 1 ball and 1 strike on Quade Jones. The 1-1 pitch on its way. Jones swings and fouls that one back. That one quickly hitting the net and rolling over the roof. Back behind us here, and it will be no balls and 2 strikes to count. 0-2 the count. James Nelson looking for that big strikeout pitch. On its way, swung on and missed. The 3rd strikeout for James Nelson. And he is shutting down the bats of Enterprise with quickly 2 outs here in the 6th for Cole Stratton. Stratton 3-for-3, 3 singles, has scored twice on the ball game, has a stolen base mixed in there as well. He's played some good defense, and the first pitch swung on and missed, and it's no balls and a strike. So an all-around good day for Cole Stratton at the ballpark. Looking to try to help his Enterprise Wolves force game 2. The 0-1 pitch swung on and missed as Stratton chases that one out of the zone, and it's 0-2. James Nelson kicks and comes home. The 0-2 pitch swung on, fouled right back to the screen, and we'll have another 0-2 pitch coming. No balls and 2 strikes to count. They'll kick the line to the delivery on its way. Swung on, and Stratton fouls it away. We'll have another 0-2 pitch, a right-hander now getting loose down in the Enterprise bullpen. It's not Trayson Christensen. The 0-2 pitch is swung on and popped up. Coming in is Sego in right field, who reaches up and makes the catch, and the 6th inning's over. So Manti coming up in the bottom of the 6th inning, they need to get something going. They need 5. They have 6 outs to do it. We'll see if Manti can try to cut into that lead after the break. You're watching the 2015 Class 2A Utah State Baseball Tournament on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com. Exciting times this afternoon at the ballpark. Manti looking to try to start a rally here against Trayson Christensen. Jack Gillett, Derek Wright, Darren McClain coming up. And the first pitch, Gillett swings through it. No balls and a strike here, the count on Jack Gillett. Gillett was hit by a pitch in the second and then was retired later on the base pass. The 0-1 pitch, the wind and the delivery comes home. Swung on and missed, and it's 0-2. Gillett was the base runner when Darren McClain hit a ground ball to second base, and Gillett interfered with the relay throw to first on the double play. The 0-2 pitch on its way, swung on, popped high up. Giving it a look is Bundy, but it's going to go foul, and that will hit, I think, really right above us here as that quickly kind of set me to, kind of go for a little bit of a shake. I was looking straight up thinking, where's that ball going to hit? And then next thing I know, it's hitting right on top of us here. No balls and 2 strikes to count. Christensen, the right-hander, delivers. That one swung on, lined out into the gap, coming over. It's going to fall out there in front of Hunt for a base hit. And getting something going here is Jack Gillett, the first hit for Manti since the first inning. And now they just turn it over to the top of their lineup and Derek Hunt. Action going down in the bullpen has now sat down if you're Enterprise. So Derek Wright coming to the plate, 0 for 2, went down on strikes and then also grounded out back in the first. Wright stands in with an open stance from the right side. Manti needs to get a couple back here in the 6th. Pitch, fastball misses away for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. Be interesting here to see how long Enterprise would let Christensen go if Manti gets something going. After pitching so well, you don't really want to see that if you're Trayson Christensen after pitching this well, to see 1 inning just the wheels come off. The 1-0 pitch misses low, ball 2, and it's 2 balls and no strikes on Derek Wright. Darren McClain to follow, then it would be James Nelson and then Wes Wright. So you got really you're dealing with some of the best hitters on this Manti team here in the 6th inning. 2 balls and no strikes to count. The 2-0 pitch on its way, swung on by Wright and popped up. Long run, giving it a look, and running it down is Simpkins, who makes the catch in foul territory. Throw back to first is offline, and Jack Gillett would have beaten it out anyway. So the first out here of the 6th is retired on a pop fly to Clint Simpkins. And now Darren McClain's going to come to the plate here with 1 away. McClain's reached on an error and grounded into a double play. He grounded into just a 6-3 double play, that one of which I just spoke of, and Now Chandler Bowler, it looks like, number 11, getting loose for Enterprise down in the bullpen. And in case Christensen should begin to struggle, Bowler's getting loose. The pitch swung on and missed by McLean. No balls and a strike. McLean will take a look down into the third base coaching box, get some direction there, and now will stand back in. No balls and 1 strike, 1 away, bottom of the 6th inning, 6-1 Enterprise. The delivery on its way, breaking ball, swung on and missed, strike 2, and it's no balls and 2 strikes on Darren McLean. McLean will step in once again here for Manti. A lot of things Trayson Christensen can do 0-2. We've seen him go to the breaking ball. Will he go fastball? And time called here. And the baseball gets down past the catcher down there, so it'll be picked up, and they will get that baseball back down into the bullpen for Enterprise. 6-1 Wolves on top. No balls and 2 strikes to count. The delivery comes home. That's inside, and they're going to say that hit Darren McLean and went to the backstop. So Manti, with their biggest threat in a while now, men on first and second with 1 out, and James Nelson coming to the plate. This could be a golden opportunity if you're Manti. You haven't had a ton of opportunities against Christensen here, as Bundy will go out here. Kason Bundy will have a quick word. Coming over to Bradley Clegg as well to give a quick word of encouragement. As James Nelson, who started behind the plate and now has moved into the pitcher spot today for Manti. Nelson is 1 for 2, had a single back in the first, flew out to left in the 4th. 1 away. The wind of the delivery comes home. That one swung on, hit well to center field. Coming in is Connor Phelps. He's going to run it down to make the 2nd out of the inning. With all his momentum going forward, there was no way that Jack Gillett could tag with the momentum coming toward the play. Had the ball been hit out to the gap, you might have maybe tried to tag up Gillett. But now Wes Wright comes to the plate. Wright 1 for 1, had a double back in the 2nd, walked in the 4th inning. Looking here for a clutch hit to keep this rally going for Manti. Christensen takes a look at second. Comes home, and the first pitch on the outside corner for a called strike. And it's no balls and 1 strike to count on Wes Wright. Kyle Robinson, the catcher, in the on-deck circle for the Templars. No balls and a strike. Runners get their lead. Big hole out in right center field. Phelps playing a little bit more towards left center. The 0-1 pitch in there at the knees and on the outside corner. It's no balls and 2 strikes to count on Wes Wright. McLean not being held on by Stratton at first base. Stratton protecting the line there over at first. No balls and 2 strikes to count. The pitch is swung on, grounded to third. Knocked down by Clegg. Simpkins fields it, and he doesn't have a play. The bases are loaded with 2 outs, and Kyle Robinson coming to the plate. And a big at-bat here for the Manti starting pitcher, who just gave up some early runs in the 1st and 2nd. Robinson got the start, gave up 2 in the top of the 1st, 2 in the 2nd, and then gave up 1 run in the 4th. Now looking to try to see if he can't get a couple of those runs back. The wind and the delivery coming home, and there's a pitch right on the outside corner for a called strike. It's 0-1 on Kyle Robinson. Robinson has grounded out to the pitcher, and then he's also grounded into a 4-6 double play. 0-1 on its way home. That one swung on, bounced to second base. Jones is there. The throw to first is in time, and the 6th inning's over. Manti has a golden opportunity to try to see if they couldn't chip back into this ball game. They strand the bases loaded at the end of 6 from Brent Brown Ballpark. It's Enterprise 6, Manti 1. We head to the 7th here at the 2015 Class 2A Utah State Baseball Tournament on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com.
Les Schwab Tires, they know time has a way of changing things. But the one thing time hasn't changed is the way they feel about service. Next time you need tires, keep Les Schwab in mind.
Top of the 7th inning here at the 2015 Class 2A Utah State Baseball Tournament. Game number 1 of what it looks like to be right now, game 1 of 2 this afternoon, as Enterprise, if they can hold on and get this victory over Manti, would force a second game today in order to decide the 2015 2A state champion. Casey Barnes, number 0 on the mound, delivers his first pitch low and away for a ball to his counterpart, Trayson Christensen. Couple of defensive changes. Derek Wright moves from shortstop to third base. James Nelson goes from being on the mound to being at shortstop as Barnes misses away, ball 2, and it's 2 balls and no strikes to count. Christensen, Clegg, and Simpkins, 9-1 and 2 coming up for Enterprise. 2-0 pitch is swung on, and that one's hit high out to left field. Coming in, getting under it, and making the plays, Wes Wright, for the first out of the 7th inning. So important here if you're Casey Barnes to come in and just give your team a 1-2-3 inning, as Manti was able to get something started in the bottom of the 6th inning, but wasn't able to produce any runs. Looking to try to see if they can't get something going. Here's Bradley Clegg. Clegg's walked 3 times and reached on an error back in the 5th as he swings and fouls the first pitch away, and it's 0-1. Clint Simpkins in the on-deck circle. He will follow Clegg. The 0-1 pitch, Barnes kicks and delivers, breaking ball, swung on, grounded through the left side, diving is Nelson, but he can't come up with it. And a 1-out single here in the 7th inning for Bradley Clegg. And Clegg has been on now in all 5 of his at-bats today in one way or another, although officially he is 1 for 2 as Clint Simpkins comes to the plate. Simpkins grounded out, had an RBI double, then grounded out, and then had an RBI single in his last at-bat in the 5th. From the left side of the plate, Casey Barnes takes a look over his shoulder over to first and will throw over. Diving back safely is Bradley Clegg. Simpkins hitting from the left side of the plate. Double play depth up the middle here if you're Manti. The pitch coming inside and tight. That's taken for a ball. And it's 1 ball and no strikes to count here on Clint Simpkins. Simpkins, an even squared up stance here in the box. Runner gets his lead over at first. Barnes comes home. That one popped up high, but that's going to go foul. And will hit just down the third baseline, hit off the roof here. Good turnout here in the 2A state championship game. And beautiful weather for it. It was supposed to come up into it was 65 at game time, but it's supposed to move up into the 70s today. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Simpkins set from the left side, the 1-1, the snap throw back over to first, and back underneath the tag there is Simpkins. My phone says it's 70 degrees of, what, great source a phone can be for the weather. 1-1 pitch on its way home. That one swung on, hit hard by Simpkins, but foul down the right field line. I'm sure there's more accurate ways to figure out the temperature, but right now that's what I have. So at the end of the day, though, a nice, pleasant day at the ballpark. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count here on Simpkins. Simpkins standing in here from the left side of the plate. And I've just been confirmed somebody else has, 70 degrees as well. As the 1-2 pitch swung on and missed. Strike 3. Simpkins down on strikes. the first strikeout for Casey Barnes. And with 2 outs here in the 7th inning, Kason Bundy comes to the plate. Bundy had an RBI single in the first and then hit into a fielder's choice, lined out to second, and kind of just hit a pop-up to the pitcher in the 5th inning. Bundy hitting that 3 holes, had a lot of good at-bats so far for Enterprise in the tournament. Getting his lead over at first is Bradley Clegg. Breaking ball stays high and it's 1 ball and no strikes. Manti here at Brent Brown Ballpark, beating North Sevier 12-4. Beating Delta 3-2, and then beating Enterprise 1-0. Second time these two teams have played in this ballpark here in the past week. Is the pickoff move, diving back safely, is Bradley Clegg. And if this result holds, they'll play for a 3rd time. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Barnes takes a look over at first over his shoulder. Clegg with a pretty good lead. Clegg acts like he goes. The snap throw by Robinson, but the throw came on the backside there of Gillett. Had the throw been more towards the runner, they might have had a better shot there of getting Bradley Clegg, but the throw came on the back shoulder of Gillett, so Gillett had to make the catch and then had to turn all the way around. 2 balls and no strikes to count. Barnes set from the stretch, comes home. That one misses away, ball 3. Robinson again pops up like he's going to fire down, but doesn't. And it's 3 balls and no strikes to count here on Kason Bundy. On deck, it's Brandel Shumway. Three balls and no strikes. You would think Bundy would be taking all the way. Breaking ball, high, ball 4, and Enterprise has a couple of men on base with 2 outs for Brandel Shumway. The Wolves are looking to try to see if they can't add a run or 2. Brandel Shumway on the day has been hit by a pitch twice, walked in the 4th, and went down on strikes back in the 5th inning. The cleanup hitter for Enterprise stands in. Runners on first and second with 2 outs. The line of the delivery swung on and missed. It's no 0-1. Getting way off the base there was Clegg. Clegg was halfway between second and third, but nobody got to the bag. Robinson tried to pop up and throw, and then he went, wait, no one's there. Kirkham now playing pretty much right on the bag. He'll pop back out, I'm sure, and now if he will, move back out to its regular position. As Barnes looks over his shoulder to both runners, and Shumway pops this one up. Down the line, giving it a look is Seago and right, but it's going to go foul over into the maintenance area, and it's 0-2 on Brandel Shumway. Manti has been a team that's been able to come back. They've scored late in that 3-2 win over Delta on Friday, coming back to score 2 in the 6th and 1 in the 7th. They're a team that knows how to play from behind. The pitch goes away for a ball, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. 1-2 the count here on Brandel Shumway. Runners get their lead. Clegg at second, Bundy over at first. Kirkham gets in defensive positioning here. As the 1-2 pitch comes, that one misses off the plate. Shumway, you could tell, was kind of tempted to maybe to reach for it, but then held back, and that was probably a good idea there, as it be now 2 balls and 2 strikes. That one would have been off the plate, and if he would have made contact with it, that would have been pretty impressive, but the 2-2 pitch, that one swung on and hit in the left field. I'm sure he'll rather take that. They're going to wave. Coming around third is Bradley Clegg. The relay throw is cut off by Nelson, and it's 7-1 Enterprise here in the 7th inning. An RBI single for Brandel Shumway. Clegg came around to score as Wes Wright kind of maybe bobbled the baseball out there in left field just enough to make a difference. Kason Bundy able to move down to third, and they are in fact going to charge Wes Wright with an error, the 6th error of the game against Manti. And now Connor Phelps comes to the plate with another run sitting 90 feet away. and not the result you wanted there if you're Manti, because every run now that you get is just another run that you have to try to fight back with here in the bottom of the inning. Now you need 6 runs to tie. The pitch on its way, swung on by Phelps, and that one's going to be rolled foul over towards the Manti dugout. Connor Phelps on the day has flown out 3 times, but had the big RBI double back in the 4th inning that scored the only run. That was able to score Brandel Shumway. Shumway over at first gets his lead. Wouldn't be surprised if he takes off. The 0-1 pitch from Barnes misses away, and the count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike. Enterprise has not been afraid to try to steal that, to take that bag or try to move into scoring position. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. And the delivery on its way. Phelps swings, gets behind it, and fouls it away. And it'll be 1 ball and 2 strikes the count on Connor Phelps. So if you're Casey Barnes here, a big strikeout needed. He would love to get out of this inning and get his guys up in the bottom of the 7th inning. In the bottom of the 7th inning will be Kelton Pritchard, Brad Sego, and Casey Barnes. 6, 7, and 8 coming up for Manti. Runner goes, 1-2 pitch. The snap throw to third is caught by Derek Wright, but everybody's back safely. So Brandel Shumway steals second base. And now a couple of men in scoring position for Enterprise. On a base hit here, they can potentially go up 9-1 if both of them scored. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count. The right-hander kicks and comes home with the 2-2 pitch, high and away, ball 3. And the count runs to 3 balls and 2 strikes on Connor Phelps. Kelton Hunt, number 5 in the on-deck circle, with 2 strikeouts would hit here if the inning continues. 3-2 pitch on its way home, and that one's going to be lined hard right up the middle. Backhanded, knocked down by Kirkham. 1 run's going to score. Coming around second is Shumway. He will score. It's 9-1 Enterprise here in the 7th. A 2-run single. Kason Bundy easily able to score from third. And then the ball just knocked down by Kirkham, and he just couldn't keep it on the infield. It kind of kicked into center field, and when that happened, Brandel Shumway easily got the green light around third. And it's 9-1 in favor of Enterprise as Kelton Hunt comes to the plate. So 8-run hole to dig out if you're Manti, and the first pitch is a breaking ball. It stays high, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. Hunt with 2 strikeouts, been hit by a pitch, and also grounded out into a fielder's choice in the second. 1 ball and no strikes the count. The right-hander, Casey Barnes, working here from the stretch. Takes a look over his shoulder. Connor Phelps with good speed at first, and the breaking ball swung on and fouled back by Hunt. And the count moves to 1 ball and 1 strike. So just a good opportunity there to just kind of foul it straight back to the screen, and he did a good job there, and the count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike. One ball, 1 strike the count. Phelps gets his lead at first. Barnes winds, delivers, and that pitch on the outside corner for a called strike, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes the count to Kelton Hunt. Darren McLean in center field, shaded more towards right center, now kind of squaring up more, kind of straight playing behind the second base bag. 1 ball, 2 strike pitch on its way, swung on and fouled away, and we'll do another 1-2 pitch here to Kelton Hunt as Connor Phelps was breaking to second base on the pitch. Hunt will take a quick stand out of the batter's box, now stands back in. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, top of the 7th inning, 3 runs in for Enterprise. Breaking ball swung on, foul back again, and Kelton Hunt staying alive again. Just getting enough of that baseball to foul it back. You're watching the 2015 Class 2A Utah State Baseball Tournament here on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com. Thank you for joining us today as we will decide the 2A state champion. 1 ball, 2 strikes here with 2 outs in the 7th inning. Phelps gets his lead over at first. Barnes comes home, breaking ball, swung on, popped up foul, and will do another 1-2 pitch. This is either the 3rd or 4th straight 1-2 pitch as Kelton Hunt's just stayed in there and battled here. Casey Barnes makes the long walk back out to the pitcher's mound after getting a new baseball. The right-hander will work from the stretch here. 1 out, runner over at first. Phelps, hands on his knees. He might be going, he's not, as Hunt will once again foul this one back. Will hit the netting and roll back onto the field of play where Quade Jones will put it in his back pocket and give it to the umpire when he comes up to bat. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the 7th. The wind of the delivery comes, breaking ball inside, runner goes. The throwdown comes in and gets into center field. Taking the turn and going to third is Phelps, and Enterprise has the 10th run of the ball game 90 feet away. I was surprised to see the throw come, and that will be the 7th error of the game against Manti. I was surprised there to see the throw because when Kyle Robinson threw that ball down to second base, nobody was there. And so really you saw James Nelson just try to throw his glove up to keep it on the infield. Kirkham tried to do the same thing, but the ball skipped by. The 1-2 pitch on its way. Hunt grounds that one to third. Derek Wright is there. He'll make the throw across the diamond in time, and the 7th inning is over. So the 3 runs for Enterprise doesn't help if you're Manti, and now Manti's got to dig themselves out of an 8-run hole. They need 8 to tie, 9 to win the 2015 state championship. We'll see what Manti does after the break here on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com.
RPT provides sports medicine and physical therapy care from Little League to professional athletes. RPT provides sports medicine services for 8 local high schools. RPT, the official sports medicine sponsor of the Utah High Fly Studies Association. Concert information, upcoming concert here at the UHSAA Center on the campus of Utah Valley University. On June 13th, the Neon Trees will be in concert. And then on October 1st, Adina Menzel. For more concert information and tickets, contact the UHSAA Center. Leading off for Manti, the designated hitter, number 23, Kelton Pritchard.
Bottom of the 7th inning starting here at Brent Brown Ballpark. Enterprise is 3 outs away from forcing a second game today and forcing a final elimination game for the state championship. 3 outs away, Trayson Christensen will start it. Kelton Pritchard stands in, swings first pitch, grounds it to short. Fielded by Simpkins, his throw across the diamonds in time, and the first out's recorded, 6-3 in the scorebook. So with 1 away now, Brad Seago will come to the plate. Seago 0 for 2s, grounded out to second and also grounded out to short. Seago looking here to try to see if he can't have the opportunity here to see if he can't find a way on to get something going for Manti. Casey Barnes in the on-deck circle. Trayson Christensen kicks and comes home. First pitch, it misses well out of the strike zone. 1 ball and 1 strike. Game 2 is scheduled to start 20 minutes after the conclusion of this one. But they were just kind of, I think the plan is just to kind of get going whenever the field and everything is ready. The 1-0 pitch, wind and the delivery on its way. That one on and off the plate for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes the count here on Brad Seago. Seago wears the number 22 and has the 2-0 pitch. High and tight, ball 3. And the count moves to 3 balls and no strikes here on Brad Seago. Casey Barnes in the on-deck circle, number 00 for Manti. Trayson Christensen has had Chandler Bowler up in the bullpen throughout portions of this ball game, but has been able to go the distance. The 3-0 pitch misses low and away, ball 4, and a 1-out walk, and Manti has a base runner on base, but it's going to take a little bit more than scoring 1 run here to get back in this as Casey Barnes comes up to the plate. But you got to start somewhere if you're Manti. You got to start with a base runner. You got to start with, being able to move that base runner around. And Casey Barnes stands in, who's 0 for 2. Barnes is flown out to center and grounded out to first. 1-0, the first pitch on the way with 1 out is just off the plate for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes to count. Jack Gillett on deck, does have a hit, and then we'd go back to the top of the Manti lineup. 1 ball and no strikes to count. Getting his lead over at first is Brad Seago. The 1-0 pitch in there on the inside corner as Barnes takes a tough fastball. And there's really nothing Barnes could do there to even hit that ball as he takes it inside, and the count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike. Working from the stretch here, the right-hander, Trayson Christensen set. And comes home. That one swung on, grounded right over the bag, fair down the right field line. Taking the turn is Seago. He will go to third. Barnes is going to quickly put on the brakes late. The throw back to first, not in time. And Manti has runners on the corners for Jack Gillett with 1 away. Casey Barnes just hit a ground ball that just hopped right off that first base bag, was able to stay fair, and just kind of rolled down the right field line. And when that happened, that put it in, was able to help Brad Seago move from first to third. So with 1 out, here comes Jack Gillett. Gillett has been hit by a pitch and had a single back in the 6th inning. The single here would be a big help for Manti. And the pitch on its way, there's a strike on the outside corner. No balls and a strike here on the right-hander. Gillett, wearing number 21, stands in. No balls and a strike. Trayson Christensen working here from the stretch. Nelson, not a huge lead over at first. Breaking ball swung on, fouled away, and it's 0-2. Sorry, that's not Nelson over at first. That's Casey Barnes. Not even a lead worth throwing over if you're Trayson Christensen. In fact, some pitchers wouldn't even look to throw over at all, because even if he would score, it'd be 9-3. But a lot of pitchers like to keep the runners close no matter what. No balls and 2 strikes to count. Christensen comes home, swung on and missed, strike 3, and Manti is down to their final out. That is strikeout number 3 of the day for Christensen. 2 outs here in the 7th inning, and Derek Wright will come to the plate. Wright 0 for 3, has a ground out, a strikeout, and a flyout. A little bit of everything but a hit for the Manti shortstop. Wright stands in here from the right side. Christensen set from the stretch, delivers home, and that one's right on the outside corner, called strike, and it's no balls and 1 strike to count here on Derek Wright. Brad Seago running over at third base for Manti. It's Casey Barnes over at first. 2 down, bottom of the 7th inning. Enterprise 1 out away from forcing game 2 today. That pitch low and away for a ball, and the count evens at 1. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Darren McLean in the on-deck circle. From everything that I understand, Manti would be the visiting team in game 2, and Enterprise would be the home team. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Christensen delivers home. Wright swings and pops this one up. This could be it. Coming in and left is Hunt. He is under it. He'll make the catch, and the ball game is over, and Enterprise has forced game 2 here at Brent Brown Ballpark. The 3rd time in less than a week these 2 teams have played. Our final here is Enterprise 9, Manti 1 at the 2015 Class 2A State Baseball Tournament. We're heading to the final game of this tournament. Winner wins the state title. As soon as the field is prepped and ready, we'll be ready to go. My guess is that's going to be sometime between 3:35 and 3:45, but we'll kind of keep you posted here as we go, as we get ready to go as we'll get ready to wrap this one up. 9-1 Enterprise the final. Game 2 beginning here as long as the field is prepped and ready to go. You're watching the 2015 Class 2A Utah State Baseball Tournament on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com.